A very good morning. With the examination for prelims now over, we are targeting towards our mains answer writing sessions. So in the coming days, we'll be bringing answer writing for geography and psychology optional as well as for your GS. So in today's session, we'll be talking about one of the important sections in psychology, which is paper 2. Most of the students face difficulty in writing answers for paper 2, which is the applied psychology, because for general psychology, that's paper 1, the questions are relatively more direct and it's more easier and comprehensive to write the answers for paper 1. But for the second paper of psychology, which is applied psychology, we'll be focusing on one of the very important topics highly possible for this year, and that is about the psychology of terrorism. So here let's have one of the questions. Now the question says, discuss the psychological factors which contribute to radicalization and adoption of extremist ideology. Now this is the first part of the question. The second part of the question talks about evaluating the effectiveness of interventions in counter-terrorism strategies, which could be psychological interventions. Now in this section, we would try to understand, when we are writing the answers, first of all understand there are two subparts of the question, so we have to address both the subparts independently, right? So we'll be focusing on the answers for each of the subpart one by one. But before that, in case you are looking for a comprehensive evaluation, we do offer the complete program for your psychology optional, so you can refer that. Now here, the first part, which is the psychological factors. Now what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to explain you how you can actually address the problem. So this psychological part, the psychological factors could be addressed into two settings. One is the individual vulnerabilities, the social or the group vulnerabilities, and the ideological concepts or the ideological factors. Now let's understand what could be each of the ideas, what could be the ideas under each of these. So when we say individual vulnerability, we say an individual is more vulnerable to being directed towards extremist psychologies or extremist ideologies. So why does that happen? Now some of the factors that affect this is basically an individual is looking for an identity, is not able to find a right place to work. There has been a specific psychological trauma that has affected the individual. There is a huge or extreme feeling of injustice, a sense of grievance, or there is always a need for belongingness, that I belong to a certain group or community. Now these are some of the factors that motivate certain individual more as compared to others to be to adopt certain extremist ideologies. Now if we talk about group dynamics or group behavior, it's sometimes the leadership under which they are influenced is very, very charismatic. As a result, the individual loses all the ideas and individual thoughts, and they are exploited by the vulnerability. The second is sometimes a conformity. Now this conformity is where there is extreme social pressure and you tend to adopt the ideas which is being promoted under that regime, right? So those extremist ideologies you tend to adopt. There is dehumanization practices. Now here, dehumanizing the enemy is the basic idea under the group influence, and then us versus them mentality. Us versus them means it's usually an in-group, out-group, as we have talked about in our lectures on social psychology. So the whole us versus them psychology focuses on in-group, out-group mentality, right? And then there are ideological issues. Now when we focus on ideological issues, what could be those ideological issues? This could be a simple extreme ideology which has a clear-cut sense away from the real moral or ethical grounds, And then the person would always try to justify that violence is good, why violence should be promoted, or there is a glorious future ahead, which could be in the form of caliphate or a pure society where you motivate individual to do self-sacrifice. So those could be some of the ideological bases under which an individual contributes to extremist or radicalized views. Now, this is where we have addressed the first part of the question. Now coming on to the second part of the question. Once those extremist ideologies are deep imbibed into an individual, how the effective methods could take place. Now for that we talk about psychological intervention. Now this intervention can come into two forms. There could be either a preventive method or de-radicalization strategies, what we say, or once it is done there can be a rehabilitation program, right? Rehabilitation program. Now for the prevention is you don't allow an individual to actually enter into those extremist ideologies. So for that there can be community based intervention programs. We'll talk about some of the case studies in a while. You would have to include the case studies as you do, but we are just focusing on the key points right now. So the first one is a community based intervention program, right? So where the vulnerable communities are being talked about, critical thinking, social cohesion, alternative ideas, where they can address the root issue of the problem, resolve it. There can be counseling sessions, mentoring sessions that can help individuals who are at high risk, who have individual vulnerabilities, as we discussed in the previous section. And then there can be counter narratives. Counter narratives is again an interesting philosophy where you challenge those extreme ideologies. And once you start to challenge those extreme ideologies, the individual tends to understand that yes, I was drawn by that extremist philosophy, and now I need to rewind myself back. So this is an idea where message of peace, tolerance, pluralism can be propagated. Right? So these are preventive strategies. Now once a person has already become a terrorist, is involved in terror activities, at that point these preventive strategies cannot work. So what would work is a rehabilitation strategy. Now rehabilitation strategies work well with cognitive behavior therapies, which is called as the CBT therapy. Now for what to write in the CBT therapy, we have already covered a comprehensive lecture on therapies, CBT specifically, so refer that in the complete lectures, you'll get an idea. Now this helps to develop a pro-social behavior. Then there can be religious re-education. Now this is very, very important, because sometimes when there is group dynamics which is very, very prominent and has led to extremist views, these religious re-education is the only way where the extremist ideologies can be deconstructed. Also, family and social support works very, very strongly because this is one of the ways through which counter narratives could be strengthened. And finally, this is what we say a black box problem, because radicalization is a very, very complex process, and understanding the psychology of a terrorist becomes very, very challenging. So targeted interventions are required, and therefore to understand and deal with it well, there are numerous efforts that have been propounded. Now let's talk about some of the efforts in this sense. So under the prevention, there has been a strategy which is known as prevent strategy, which has been very, very popular in UK, and this aims to safeguard individuals from radicalization, and this occurs through multi-agency collaborations, through educational institutions, and support specific targeted vulnerable groups. So this is under a prevention, where you can say one of the case studies could be there. Under rehabilitation, there is a dialogue program. Now this dialogue program was started by Saudi Arabia's Munkashab, and this was the dialogue program where the Prince Mohammed bin Naif Counseling and Care Center usually has religious leaders, psychologists who engage together, resolve on the extremist views, challenge the interpretation of those extremist views, and try to facilitate reintegration into a normal life through providing them vocational training, vocational support. So this NEF Counseling Center has been one of the very, very important ones, having a positive role in rehabilitative interventions in counterterrorism. So again, these were some of the case studies that we talked about when we were talking about the interventions, but we forgot to discuss one of the case studies that we could actually earmark in the section on the psychological factors which affect the extreme adoption of the adoption of extremist ideologies. So here we recently had news which was about Rwanda genocide. Now if we talk about, or if we read more about Rwanda genocide, we would see there are two groups, Tutsis and Hutus. Now Hutus are the extremists, and there is dehumanization of Tutsis which has been seen by Hutus, and these Hutus have been calling Tutsis as cockroach. Now this has spread a wild form of violence within the ordinary people, and has been one of the factors where we say that there has been a psychological trauma to one of the communities which has led to mass genocide. And this is one of the ways under which we say the factors that affect the extremist radical views have been important. So this was just one of the basic ideas under which we have explained one of the questions through which you can express your ideas in answer writing. But make sure whatever answer writing you are doing, it's systematic, it's within the flow. Even the case studies, the contemporary topics that you are introducing are well aligned to the topic and the issue, right? So in one of the lectures again we'll be talking about another important topic in applied psychology, paper 2 psychology, and that's gender psychology. So don't miss, and of course a lot many more coming for general studies. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. Have a great day ahead.